call comes in from the Coast Guard. 8 miles downstream in North Greenwich, a man has fallen into the water.
When we've got a person in the water, that just raises everyone's game a little bit because they are the people where every second does count.
I mean, I've had people drown in front of me, 50, 100 metres away. I've seen someone in the water and we've been going to them at full speed. And then before we've got there, that person's gone.
10 minutes after launching, the crew arrive at the location where the man fell into the water.
Go forward, I'll just stay on forward.
A clipper, one of the river buses that works on the Thames, has heard about the incident on the radio and is already on the scene.
Can you point at him?
We couldn't actually see where the casualty was, and it became apparent that the casualty was on the other side from where we were, quite close into the shore.
Do you want to get the first aid kit?
Ian, the crew's paramedic, boards the vessel.
Come round the other side.
The man is being kept just above water by two sisters working on the clipper.
Right. Go round the other side, but he's too heavy to pull.
Between all of us, we might be able to get him out.
I'm sorry, I haven't got
No,
the
you're
strength.
fine.
It's all right.
We was out of service, just getting ready to go on break, and then we get the call that we need to go and help.
It's all right.
When I first saw him, he was unconscious in the life ring. He was face down, so it was quite hard to see what state he was in.
They'd managed to get hold of his clothing, but I think they were very exhausted.
We physically couldn't reach down and grab the person from the water. It was so hard, both of us couldn't lift him together.
That's it.
Between the three of us, we all tried to drag the gentleman onto the clipper boat, but he was just too heavy and too much of a dead weight.
Helm Stewart must get the lifeboat in the narrow gap between the larger vessel and the shore.
Aye, just nice and easy, Stu. Aye, just hold him there.
We went alongside best we could because the boat was moving, obviously. And the last thing we want is to crush the casualty with 5.5 tons of boat.
Gently, gently, gently. Aye, aye. Come around, son.
Pull, go for pull.
Get him in.
The man has been in the water for almost 15 minutes and appears to be drifting in and out of consciousness.
Push the top back.
Right, mind his head.
The water temperature is just 15 degrees Celsius, and hypothermia may be setting in.
If somebody's not trying to take their face out of the water, they're pretty poorly.
Just stay in the line for a minute. I've got you. Come with me. Stuart, just hold the boat. All right, mate, we've got you. Ready? Don't worry. 1, 2, 3, in. Go.
As the casualty is dragged aboard, he starts coming round.
Get him a blanket. I'll look up.
While the crew makes sure he's stable, Ian checks on the sisters on board the river bus.
Guys, awesome. You did really well. You did really well. You did really well. You did really well. Well done. You've probably just saved his life. Well done.
As soon as they had retrieved the casualty, it was just like a weight had been lifted off our shoulders, and we just both fell back and sort of collapsed on the deck, and it was just such an emotional experience.
Energy to get up.
Hey. Right, there is no way I could have pulled him up
I
here.
know, but I haven't got the energy to get up.
Girls okay?
Yeah.
I think the crew on the clipper were absolutely exhausted. They'd had hold of him for a very long time, and they were no longer focused on trying to save this guy's life, and they suddenly realised, it dawned on them what they'd done.
I think when you have someone whose life is in your personal hands, the emotional release is horrific. So I understand, we've been there.
Yeah.
Right, you can have the rest of the shift off.
Good girls, well done.
Said to him, well done, and then we're gone because we've got to get this guy to a pier and get him to the ambulance.
For 23-year-old Holly, her experience that day has made a lasting impression.
It was just an amazing feeling to know that you've helped save someone's life. So since the day of the incident, I've now gone on to join in the RNLI as a volunteer at Tower Lifeboat Station.
One day, one of our new crew members turns up and it was young Holly from that job.
We need people who have that ability to fight through their own fears, their own exhaustion. That is absolutely the sort of person we need in the RNLI.
It's been going great. I think I've settled in quite well. Teamwork means a lot to me. Everyone's so lovely. It's like being part of a family.